back to Pat Bale Field in Alameda. Quincy Winkler out there for the bottom of the fourth inning. You know, I don't know if maybe one button per inning has left his shirt, but at this point he's out there pitching, and none of the buttons that I can see at least are buttoned on that jersey. But he's out there nonetheless. Bottom of the fourth for Winkler. Pretty solid start so far, you'd have to say, and he'll face 6, 7, and 8. Beg your pardon, 5, 6, and 7, starting with the designated hitter, Angelo Luna, who flied out to center field in the first. 2-1 ball game on a warm afternoon. First pitch is grounded past the diving Johnny Rodriguez into right field. It'll be a leadoff single on the first pitch for Luna. He really attacked that first pitch there. Hit number 3 on the day for Alameda. Bring up the 6-hole Kyle Sander. Playing left field today, struck out swinging in his first at bat in the second. Sander is one of a few guys on this Merchants team from San Joaquin Delta College. Hails from Fairfield, which is a bit up north past the I-80. There he lays down a bunt. Coming for the third baseman. Fields cannot get it out of his glove on the transfer. E5. So an early first and second no-out situation for Winkler. Comerford fielded that ball right in front of Winkler on the mound at the foot of the hill there, and started to transfer the ball to his right hand to make the throw to first, but the ball squirted out into the grass between the pitcher's mound and first base. Sander, beg your pardon, is on safely. It'll be first and second with nobody out for Fabian Gomez, the Merchants' first baseman. Tall lefty stands in. Winkler checks the runner in, fires. Ball 1 outside. And we do apologize once again for the second interruption to the stream. This one was not network related. It is getting to be a warm day here in Alameda, and the sun's passing over our broadcast station, and just had to make sure our computer was cooling correctly and not overheating, which can cause interruptions. There's ball 2, and Spear will make a visit to the mound. Good breeze whipping through the stadium here. With the Alameda skyline in the distance right behind Winkler there, behind the left field fence. This field is lighted, but obviously it's a day game. Won't need those. Here's his delivery. It's in the dirt. Spear keeps it in front of him. Picks up the ball right in front of home plate. Early 3-0 to Gomez. Three balls and no strikes. That one's in there. He pours it in for strike 1. So 3-1 to Gomez. Runners on first and second. The pitch down in the zone. It'll be a walk. So the bases are now loaded with Merchants. Honestly, the first type of trouble at all that Winkler's had with a significant jam on the bases this afternoon. He'll look to get it back here facing 8, 9, and 1. And Dean Traynor makes his way out of the first base dugout towards the pitcher's mound for the first mound visit of the day for San Luis Obispo. The entire infield's also gathered over there on the pitcher's mound. Sometimes you see offensive teams take a timeout here as well, especially when you have base runners on in a high leverage situation. But third base coach of the Merchants consults with his runner, and one of the assistant coaches also consults with the batter, who will be Benji O'Rourke. Trainer heads back to the dugout, and so do the Blues to their respective infield positions. So dealing with 8, 9, and 1 here will be Winkler. Looking to pull a Houdini. The infield corners will be in here, trying to cut off the run at home plate. His first pitch, swing off, and a foul off the mask of Spear. He'll ask for a new baseball. Oh and 1 to the Prague native. Low and away. The only international player on the Merchants this season. Open stance, 1-1. Low and away once again. It'll be 2 balls and 1 strike, I beg your pardon. Two and 1. That one's lifted. The second baseman, Diego Gonzalez, catches a little short fly there. And a quick out number 1 there. And that is what the doctor ordered for Quincy Winkler. The man who refuses to pitch with his jersey buttoned.
Mistake him for Fabio a little bit.
He'll bring up the 9 hole in the order. Center fielder Max Giglieri struck out in the second. First pitch to him is low and in the dirt. And you notice, like, when Winkler's missing, he's missing either low or he's missing inside. Yeah. Or into the lefty in this case.
Right now, he doesn't look like he has too much command of his breaking pitches, and that's what's really causing a lot of this stuff right here. I mean, weak hit single, an error, and a walk. Bases are loaded all of a sudden.
That's a ball outside to make it 2-0.
It's going to make things a lot harder for you, and you've got to pitch perfect from here on to ensure that the Blues escape this with the lead intact.
Well, he got that first out. The pitch. Swing and a miss. That's what he needed. Giglieri takes a strong but too late hack on that one. It's 2-1. There's another ball low. It'll make it 3-1. Three and 1, bases loaded. That one's in there, called strike 2. Giglieri thought he had the walk, started moving towards first base, and got ready to toss his bat back toward the third base dugout, but alas, it's a full count. Three and 2. Winkler pauses, lifts his leg, and fires. There's a drive into left center field. Outfielders are converging. Sliding catch made in center field by Cesar Chavez, moving to his right. Dom Nahar was there to back it up, but he was not going to get there in time. A nice play out there in the outfield to save at least a couple of runs.
Fantastic defensive outfielder Cesar Chavez is. I mean, this kid is unbelievable. We get to see him play on a night-to-night basis at Sinsheimer, and he covers so much ground over there.
Which is so necessary because of how spacious that place is.
Yes, and he's in the transfer portal. He is available, Jacob.
Wow.
D1 teams, if you need a center fielder, Cesar Chavez is available.
You heard it here first, folks. You didn't expect us to be bringing you transfer portal news, but here we are. Move aside 247 Sports.
Oh, I know a lot about the transfer portal lately, trust me.
Ball one is low to the leadoff hitter for the Merchants, Nico Olsen, who is 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts. And a good block once again by Evan Spear. At this point in his college career as a senior, he's a veteran, and it shows, as we were talking about last inning, 1-0. 2-0. Failed to mention on that last play, runner from third did tag up. It is a tie ball game. Merchants have evened the score. But surely at least a second run would have come in if not for the sliding grab by Chavez out there in center field. 2-1 there with a called strike on the outside. The trail runner stayed put, so it's first and second with 2 outs. Ground ball to the shortstop. Over to second for the force out. Murillo to Gonzalez, Diego to Diego. Your double play combination up the middle today. And that'll do things. Just the one run comes in for Alameda. And it's a 2-2 ball game. Now tied as we head to the 5th inning. You're watching the SLO Blues streaming network. Back at Pat Bale Field in Alameda. Blues are up to bat, and there's a new arm on the mound for the Merchants. It'll be A.J. Gamboa. Augusta leaves after pitching 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. So Gamboa will face 2-3-4, starting with Cesar Chavez. Ball 1 to him is in the dirt and goes to the backstop. 2-2 ball game on the sac fly last inning. Chavez himself made a great play defensively out in center field, or left center field, I should say. 1-0 to him is low and away, 2-0. Looks at strike 1. 2-1 to the 2-hole hitter. .333 hitter on the year. There's strike 2. Has appeared in 28 games with 36 for 108 on the year, 31 RBIs, 17 walks, several doubles as well. Deuces are wild to him. There's a shot into the gap in right center field. It'll get through for a base hit. He takes a turnaround first base. Great piece of hitting there to get the party started for the Blues here in the 5th inning. Couldn't have placed that baseball any better if you're Chavez, splitting the outfielders in right center. We'll bring up Brandon Comerford, as we said, the CCL All-Star, one of several guys that the Blues sent to the showcase that was in Reno just about a week and a half ago over the July 4th weekend. Comerford swings at the first pitch. It gets under the third baseman's glove into left field. Will be ruled a hit, and it's an early first and second for the Blues here in the 5th. Stringing together hits is the name of the game here, and the ability to hit to all fields. Third baseman Lewis stuck his glove at it, but to no avail. It'll bring up Johnny Rodriguez. 0 for 2 so far, grounded into a 4-6-3 in the 3rd. Lefty is ready for the first delivery from Gamboa, and he'll foul that one back behind the screen down the third base line into the parking lot. None down with the first 2 batters of the inning reaching for San Luis Obispo. Swings at a pitch in the dirt. 0-2. Chavez on second, Comerford on first, taking fairly liberal leads. The delivery is high. It'll be 1-2. Rodriguez is 250 on the year. He'll look at another ball low. It'll even the count at 2.
You can hear C.J. Moran affectionately yelling, "That's my son," from the dugout. C.J. Moran, who's the normal everyday first baseman, giving way to Johnny Rodriguez here today.
Rodriguez grounds this one to the second baseman. There's a flip over to the shortstop covering second, which was Olsen. Could not turn it. Good job by Comerford breaking up that double play. Chavez will move over to third. So it'll be runners at the corners and 1 down.
Number 7, Diego Maria.
Bring up Diego Murillo. In another situation that the Blues just got to take advantage of, especially in these type of games. 2-2 here in the 5th, 1 down. Murillo lines this one into center field, falls in front of the center fielder. That'll be a base hit, and a run will come home. Base knock from the kid for San Luis Obispo. He'll put them up 1. It's 3-2. Another great piece of hitting. Chavez easily comes home from third base.
Professional hitter, Diego Murillo is.
Blues find themselves back out in front looking to continue the momentum. Becker got a piece of one last time, singling in the fourth, struck out in the second. Becker stands in. The first pitch to him, swing and a miss, low in the zone.
He was trying to send that one to traffic there, Jacob. Had held nothing back on that swing right there, did Kyle Becker.
Looking to target one of those Teslas out there driving on the main drag. 0-1 is low to him. Evens the count at 1. Didn't squirt quite far away enough from the catcher for runners to advance. Will be 1-1. Ball's out. 2-1 advantage for Becker. San Diego native, playing at the University of San Diego. You know who else came out of the University of San Diego, Vinny? Chris Bryant.
Chris Bryant.
Yeah. He lifts this one a little short, pop fly behind the infield, right behind second base, but it'll fall in right between the shortstop and the center fielder. Olsen went back on it. Giglieri came in on it. Neither of them got to the baseball. Ultimately, it'll load the bases. Just another example of Blues players putting the ball where the Merchants fielders are not. And you can't ask for much more than that. I haven't seen too much pure power today, but obviously you don't need that all the time to win a ball game. As you said earlier in the open, fundamentals key to getting this team back in the win column. Parker Cristal will take his third at bat of the day, having walked the previous 2 times to the dish. And he has got plenty of RBIs out there for him on the base paths. Those bags are loaded with Blues. Rodriguez on third, Murillo on second, Becker on first base. Right-hander takes his place in the box and is ready for Gamboa's delivery. The first pitch in there for strike 1. Blues with the 1-run advantage in the 5th. Next pitch is low. 1-1. Runners take their leads off their respective bags. Swing and a miss for strike 2.
You can tell he wanted that one back right there. Really frustrated with himself that he just missed that changeup right there.
One ball and 2 strikes. Leveraged position for the Blues. That one's bounced in the dirt. Squirts away from O'Rourke towards the Merchants dugout, but he corrals it without advancement on the runner's part. So Deuces run wild to Cristal in his Blues debut. He's a 2-way player. I mean, Vincent, what are the odds that he gets in on the other side on the bump today?
Not today. We're hoping maybe tomorrow. More probably Friday against Menlo Park.
He looks at a ball low.
Equally as talented a hitter as he is a pitcher, though. I will say that. You know, fastball that you can run up over 90 miles an hour, but also hitting 12 home runs on the offensive side of things. Parker Cristal is one of those unicorns, as we call him.
Love to see a two-way player who seems to be a dying breed, especially at the higher levels. He swings and drives this one into left center field. That'll drive in at least one. Rodriguez is in. Murillo's right on his heels. 2 runs are in with the RBI single. We'll make it a 5-2 advantage for San Luis Obispo here in the 5th inning. Once again, placing those balls where defenders aren't. Can't argue with it.
And it's such a strange transition when you're used to hitting with metal bats. I mean, he's coming from a junior college, just recently committed to San Diego State University, Jacob.
Wow.
I mean, this is really his only action that he's gotten with the wooden bat. His first game with the Blues today. Pretty good hit for somebody who hasn't hit with one yet.
Yeah, and it can be quite an adjustment when you're going from aluminum to wood. The way the ball responds off the bat is just fundamentally different. It can get a little getting used to. So good adjustments made here in Alameda by Crystal. Ball 1 delivered to the catcher, Kevin Spear. Reached on an error in the 2nd, reached on fielder's choice in the 4th. 1st and 2nd for him. Blues are up 3 on the Crystal 2-run RBI single. Ball 2 is in low.
Gamboa isn't really fooling anybody right now, Jacob. They're spitting on a lot of these spinners in the dirt, and that was the big scouting report with the Alameda Merchants is they're going to try to throw breaking ball after breaking ball at you, off speed after off speed. They don't like to challenge you with the fastball, as we've seen with the first 3 pitchers of the day so far.
Were you surprised that they made a 2nd move to the bullpen? Strike 1 is in there.
I am not, and I am not surprised that they already have somebody up warming up in the bullpen as well. This is just the MO here, Jacob. They love to make pitching changes. They love to give you different looks. Different looks, similar type of attack plan for the pitchers, though.
Well, they've had a few days off. Their last game was a loss to Walnut Creek on Sunday, 5-2, up here in the Bay Area. Like we said, they're 5th in the division, 4-6 in their last 10. But both teams looking to right the ship. It's 2-2 on a foul ball back to the screen by Kevin Spear. The delivery. Strike 3 called, disagrees with the call and makes his opinion known as such. But probably wishes he would have taken the bat off his shoulder with that at bat.
I think he's probably more so letting the umpire know, I better be getting that call in the bottom half of the inning. Because he did think that that was low, but if he's going to get it on defense, he can't really complain about it.
Diego Gonzalez steps in and takes ball 1. Blues up 3 in the 5th. Ground ball fair inside the first base bag. The first baseman, Gomez, will corral it and throw sidearm to Gamboa, covering the bag to end the inning. Blues get 3. They lead it 5-2 on the SLO Blues streaming network. Back here in Alameda, bottom 5. Blues are up 5-2 on a few runs in the top half of the inning. And there is a new arm on the bump for San Luis Obispo. It'll be Lucas Shannon out of the University of San Diego, the Toreros, hometown Tucson, Arizona. He'll deal with Zach Lewis up first for Alameda here in the 5th. Wide stance from the batter, Lewis. He'll foul the first pitch back to the screen behind home plate. This past season with the Toreros, Shannon a total of 8 1/3 innings, allowing 14 hits, 13 earned runs, 10 walks, 10 strikeouts. He'll pour strike 2 in there. Early advantage on Lewis. Right-hander standing 6'3". There's a line shot over Diego Murillo's head into center field. Chavez will corral it and throw it back in. There's a single to get things started for Alameda off the bat of Lewis.
And you know what? If you're Lucas Shannon, you would much rather have that than lose him on a walk or a hit by batter, as we saw in the Conejo game the last time out. I mean, he struggled a little bit with his command there, only lasted 2 innings in the game. Got off to a quick start with 2 straight strikes there, gave up the single, but he doesn't look too beat up about it as he was in Conejo.
No matter, he'll go back to work. He throws the first pitch to Kyle Axa. It's in there for strike 1. And it's nice when you're a pitcher to enter the game with, you know, somewhat of a comfortable lead. You've got the run support from the offense going, which has not always been the case in this last stretch of a few games for the Blues. So you can't be upset if you're Shannon coming into the game. Plenty of room to work with, especially here down the stretch. The pitch is in there. Pardon me, it's low to make it 1-1. Meant to point out that the Merchants bullpen has a couple guys stretching and tossing lightly. There's a foul high right behind home plate. The catcher Spear was under it, but Johnny Rodriguez came down from first base, called him off, and made the play. 1 down.
That was the loudest "That's my son" of the day, Jacob. Johnny Rodriguez coming in to take over for Kevin Spear, who had completely lost that ball in the sun. That's a tough play for the first baseman to be able to make there.
The "That's my son" chants keep ringing out from that first base dugout. Gio Martini takes a swing at the first pitch and grounds it into left field on a line for his first hit of the day. Previously had walked and struck out. So a foul pop for 1 out of the inning, but 2 hits strung together by these Merchants make it first and second with 1 out for Angelo Luna, who has also singled.
Angelo Luna.
We've had a double from each team. Comerford from the Blues with his 1 in the first inning, and Lewis with his in the third. Other than that, no extra base hits. Luna's the lefty, also sporting pink, neon pink batting gloves. He'll take an at-bat here in the 5th with 1 out. The pitch looked good, but called a ball. Want to know? Outside for ball 2. Luna hails from Pittsburgh, California. Played college ball at CSU Los Angeles and also at St. Edward's University. There's a strike to make it 2-1. Obviously, a majority of these merchants are from Northern California, from the Bay Area or from the surrounding areas, but obviously O'Rourke coming all the way from Prague. I wonder what type of culture shift that was to go from Prague to the San Joaquin Delta Valley. This one's a shot down the left field line. Umpire calls it fair. That'll score one. Here's a second trail runner coming behind the relay throw to home plate. Thrown to the backstop. Could not be handled by Spirit. Will bring in 2 runs, and that is a 2-run RBI double off the bat of Angelo Luna. So 5-4 now with a runner on second base. We'll bring up Kyle Sandner. Struck out in the second, reached on Comerford's error in the 4th inning. One down for Sandner, stands tall in the right-handed batter's box, cuts and misses at strike 1. Merchants back within striking distance on that double down the left field line. Swing and a miss at strike 2. Shannon looking to regain momentum here in this at-bat and in this inning. Fresh into the game. Giving up a couple of runs, but looking to rebound. Kicks and deals. That one's outside for ball 1. It'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes. To Sandner from Fairfield. Now I've got a couple people in the chat from the area. That area between Vacaville and Fairfield they refer to affectionately as Vacafield. And there's strike 3 swinging. Sandner returns to the dugout. That'll be out number 2. Shannon gets the strikeout, is 1 out closer to putting the Blues back in the dugout with the lead still intact. We'll bring up Fabian Gomez, the first baseman for Alameda. Singled in the second, walked in the 4th. Gomez is from Concord. First pitch to him is low and in the dirt. You heard the grunt out of Shannon there. Our field or crowd mic working overtime. Not quite Max Scherzer, but very reminiscent at the very least. 1-0. Strike 1 there in the zone to even the count at 1. Blues have 8. Hits to the Merchants 6. The 1 error as opposed to the Merchants 2. Shannon 38 kicks and deals. Curveball's in there for strike 2. Gotta love the movement on that one. To throw in a plus count, get yourself in a position to put the team back in the dugout. 1-2, Lucas Shannon to Fabian Gomez. Swing and a foul. Reset and do it again. Ball high and away. even the count at 2 apiece. Deuces run wild here in the 5th. As the sun is practically right over the field at this point, obviously with the earlier start time. Sun angles are different than what players on both sides are used to, especially the Blues, who play a majority of games at Sinsheimer, mostly under the lights, and that field faces due south. Ball is out. Dugout disagrees. It will be a full count. Full count. Luna's on second. He'll be on the move here with 2 outs. Swing and a foul. Rolled back to the screen. Bounced all the way back out to the hitting circle. But Shannon will definitely want a new baseball. Getting kind of warm up over here in the North Bay as the afternoon hours come and go. Full count. That one's popped up foul behind the batter circle towards the Alameda Merchants dugout, but eventually falls behind the screen. Quality at bat here for Gomez. And quite the battle between these two youngsters. Full count delivery once again. Ball 4 low. So first and second for the Chechen, O'Rourke, who will bat with 2 outs. Flied out to the second baseman, Diego Gonzalez, in his last at-bat last inning. Third at-bat of the day here in the 5th. First pitch, low and away. One and 0. In for ball 2. Quite a few Merchants down there in the bullpen down the left field line at this point, although I can't really tell who's warming up and who's raking the mound. It looks like they have a couple of rakes in hand. Some mid-game bullpen field maintenance happening here at Pat Bale. The 2-0 is in there for strike 1. We know how precise pitchers can be with the cleanliness and the manicuring of the pitcher's mound, obviously. It's their office, got to keep it clean. 2-1. Low and away to make it 3 balls and a strike to Benji O'Rourke. Three and 1. That one's in there, ball 4. O'Rourke removes the yellow leg guard on his left leg and trots toward first base. With the bases now loaded full of Merchants, Dean Trainer will make his second trip to the pitcher's mound on the day. The entire infield once again gathered around. And he'll talk to his pitcher, who has kind of hit a snag here in the 5th, allowing 2 runs thus far and loading the bases. But he'll stick with him for now. Trainer returns to the dugout. Home plate umpire had gotten there just in time to break up the conference.
Now batting number 32, Max Giglieri.
Giglieri will make his third appearance at the dish on the day. Strikeout in the second. Fly out to center field in the fourth. He'll be one of, at this point, 5 batters to have at-bats for the Merchants in consecutive innings. And he'll bat with the bases loaded and 2 outs. The first offering to him skims off the catcher's gear of Kevin Spear and squirts down the third base line in foul ground. Obviously a dead ball. Giglieri did not offer at it. It's ball 1. As we said earlier, very interesting symmetrical dimensions here at Pat Bale. The field playing much like a high school field, which at this point some of these guys haven't been on that type of surface in quite some time. That pitch is high and away to the lefty. 2-0 count. Blues lead it 5-4. The 2-0 pitch. Lone in the dirt. Surprised that Shannon didn't ask for a new ball there. Alas, it's 3-0. We'll need to pour one in there right now to prevent the game from being tied. His offering, he does just that. Strike 1 right down Broadway. I turned off Broadway to get to the ballpark here today, and just about every major city in the United States has a Broad or a Broadway or something of the sort. Obviously, All-Star Game was just in Philadelphia, which is known for its Broadway. That's a walk issued to Max Giglieri, which will bring in a run and keep the bases loaded, and it is a tie ball game. Giglieri walks. Trainer walks to the pitcher's mound, motions toward the bullpen. Blues bullpen is located down the right field line here at Pat Bale. We don't really have a good angle of it from our broadcast position. So Shannon exits. We'll tell you who the new pitcher is when we come back on the SLO Blues streaming network. back to Alameda, California. Arturo Becerra's in the game, and he's on to pitch for San Luis Obispo, facing the leadoff man, Nico Olson. His first offering is in the dirt. Spear cannot corral the ball. He flips to home plate. Covering is Becerra. He'll get him in a rundown going back to third base. Comerford receives the throw and tags him out. So a little 2-1-5 action to end the inning there. The Merchants coaches out on the field. But for right now, the fifth inning has concluded. Spear couldn't exactly corral the ball. The ball squirted away towards the first base dugout, but Becerra wisely covered home plate. The runner Gomez stopped in his tracks, headed back toward third, where Comerford was ready to receive that return throw and make the play. But we'll keep it right here as the umpires deliberate in front of the pitcher's mound.
For the Merchants, 3 runs, 3 hits. We're tied up at 5. We're done with 5. Playing to the top of the 6th.
So the announcement has been made over the PA system that the out was made, the inning's complete. The umpire's now walking towards the Blues dugout. It does look like the call will stand. Home plate umpire offering the Merchants coach a explanation. And that'll do it for the fifth. We are headed to the top of the sixth inning in a 5-5 tie ball game on the SLO Blues streaming network. Alameda top 6. Dom Nahar will get the party started for San Luis Obispo. He takes strike one from the new pitcher in the game, Gino Rossi. Ball one, low and away. Fouls this one off his foot down the third base line. 1-2 Nahara leading off the 6th. Takes ball 2. Next pitch is low and in the dirt to make it a full count. Here's a shot up the middle into center field on the ground. That'll be a base hit for Nahar. So leadoff man is aboard. Cesar Chavez makes his way to the batter's box. Taking a look at weather around the state. It's 75 and sunny here in Alameda, but just south of us in my hometown of San Jose, 86. Down in SLO, 88 with a high of 91. Quite the scorcher. For all of my mid-state fair people, buckle up because it's going to be a scorcher if you're going to a concert, going to the fair, whatever the case may be. Ball 1 is high to Cesar Chavez. Sources say the weather in Paso this week is expected to hit triple digits. Not sure if that's already happened, but would not be surprised. It's that time of the year. This one's grounded to third base. Lewis makes the throw over to first to retire Chavez for out number 1. Up comes Brendan Comerford. 2 for 3. Nahar advanced on the throw there. Comerford looks at strike 1. And the new catcher in the game, Alec Nava, will make a trip out to the mound, have a conversation with his pitcher, Gino Rossi. Oh and 1 to Comerford. Rossi, wearing number 26, sets up the belt and fires. That one's high in the zone, but Comerford takes a hack at it, comes up with air. No balls and 2 strikes. Comerford's just been about everywhere. Ohlone College. Was at St. Mary's, now committed to Seattle, obviously. 1 and 2 with the ball in the dirt. Comerford hits this one deep to left on the warning track. The left fielder makes the play. And that ball was demolished, but not quite enough to get it out of the ballpark for Comerford. But that was a healthy swing and a good sound off the bat, honestly. We'll bring up Johnny Rodriguez. Reached on a fielder's choice last inning. With 2 down in the top of the 6th, the first pitch to him is high and inside. Swing and a foul down the third base line. Nahar doing his best to distract Rossi, doing a couple extra jumps before taking his secondary lead off second base. Obviously, with 2 outs, you're probably not conventionally going to pick over a second base, but wanting to make the pitcher's life hard nonetheless. There's a fly ball into center field. Giglieri settles under it, makes the catch. That'll do it for the Blues in their half of the 6th inning. Just the one single by Nahar to show for offensively in that half. We are through 5 1/2 here at Pat Bale. When we come back, it'll be a 5-5 ball game in Alameda. SLO Blues Streaming Network. Don't go anywhere. Back at Pat Bale Field in Alameda, California, will be the Merchants 1, 2, and 3 hitters this inning, starting with the defensive substitution, Nico Rodriguez, who came in to play second base. Will be the left-handed hitter facing Becerra in his second inning of work. Takes strike 1. It'll be interesting how this game is managed down the stretch by both teams in the tie ball game in the afternoon here. Takes another swings and misses, I beg your pardon. Oh, and 2 to count. Foul tip into Kevin Spears' glove. First batter retired for Becerra here in the 6th. Zach Lewis will make another appearance at the dish. Singled and doubled today. Was hit by a pitch in the 1st. Here's a high fly ball right around first base. Johnny Rodriguez will call for it and make the play right in front of the cutout in fair ground. First pitch and an out results for the Blues defense. Becerra keeps on rolling. I'll bring up Laxa, who moved from second base to shortstop with Nico Rodriguez in the game. At bat number 4 on the day, starts with a strike 1 called. Here's a high fly ball, right center field behind the infield. 3 Blues converge on it. Chavez tried to make a play on it. It squirted out of his glove. The relay throw into second is not in time. It'll be a double for Laxa. Chavez and Cristal out there, I mean, they converged on the ball, and I honestly thought Cristal might have had a better angle, but obviously with pop-up priority, Chavez called him off, just couldn't finish the play. Tried to make a play on the ball at his knee level, but at that point the ball was on the turf, or the grass, I should say. So 2 outs for Gio Martini, ball 1 away. The official scorer gave a hit. Next pitch in the dirt, 2-0. So Becerra down early to the 4-hitter. Martini takes ball 3 out. Time's called on the field, I believe, by Spear, who takes a moment to adjust his catcher's mask. Probably another fresh run through of the signs. And he'll tackle the lefty Martini. Try to get a strike in there at 3-0. Runner on second. Ball 4 is out. It's a 4-pitch walk to Martini. So first and second now with 2 outs. We had the strikeout, or Becerra had the strikeout, I should say, followed by a pop-up. Got 2 early outs, and then 2 consecutive Merchants have reached base here in the 6th inning.
Now batting number 44, Angelo Luna.
So it'll be Angelo Luna once again, had the 2-run RBI double last inning to put the Merchants within 1, and then the bases loaded walk tied the ball game. First delivery to him is cut on and missed for strike 1. No balls and a strike. Luna, wearing 44, stands upright in the left-handed batter's box, swings and misses at strike 2. So a chance to get the Blues in the dugout once again without any further damage. Oh and 2 to the 5 batter. Kicks and deals. Curveball's high. Usually we have all sorts of pitch data at our fingertips with the TrackMan technology, not available here at the College of Alameda. Batters relying on, obviously, Vincent's scouting reports and what's been discussed prior, but no real-time data. A lot of IDAR, as we were talking about earlier, especially with pitchers. Really taking it back old school in a sense, playing the game in a fundamental way, in a more conventional, conservative way. But we make do. That next pitch is cut on and missed. That's a strikeout. That'll do it for the Merchants in their half of the 6th. Becerra gets out of what could be a disastrous jam, finishes the deal in the 6th. And that will be the end of 6 innings here on the SLO Blues streaming network, still in a 5-5 tie. Back here in Alameda, top 7, Diego Murillo leads things off, and he takes strike 1. Still a 5-5 ball game. The next pitch is in the dirt low. One and one to the kid from SLO. That's a ball high and away. We'll be in 2-1. Go, Diego, go, coming from the first base dugout. They do say it's a child's game after all. 2-1. That ball's out for ball 3. 3-1 Murillo. High bouncing ball on the infield on the right side. Gets through, splits the infielders. Murillo's aboard with a leadoff single. Ball got through to right field, found the hole. And that'll set things up for Kyle Becker.
Now batting number 43, Kyle Becker.
He has the red sliding mitt in his right back pocket. Pretty bright and visible here from broadcast position. First pitch to him is high and away. Second pitch of the at-bat, high and outside. Early 2-0 advantage for Becker. Mentioned earlier that he's from USD down south. Bet they're probably having better weather than we are right now up here in not only the Central Coast but also in the Bay Area. There's a pickoff move over to first base. Murillo dives back in and stands up safely. Not much bad to say about the city of San Diego and the people of San Diego, honestly. Ball 3 is high. Obviously, many San Diego sports fans mourning the loss of the Chargers, who were so unjustifiably taken away from them several years ago. There's strike 1. Brand spanking new stadium Snapdragon opened a few years ago for the San Diego State Aztecs football program. Have seen a decent amount of success in the Mountain West, competing with the likes of Boise State, in which should be a very expanding division and conference this coming season. Strike 2 is called to make it a full count. Runner goes. Strike swinging. The throw down to second is in time. The Merchants complete the strike him out, throw him out double play. Nava, fresh into the game, throws down to Nico Rodriguez covering second base. Or pardon me, Kyle Laxo covering second base for the double play. So it'll be Chris Stahl here with the bases cleared. Fouls this one on the ground back. Singled in the 5th. Walked in both the 2nd and the 4th, his 2 prior at-bats. Oh and 1. The pitch. High and away. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 with 2 outs in the top half of the 7th. Gino Rossi came on last inning, was able to keep the Blues bats at bay. Thus far doing so this inning, there's a high pop fly back into the parking lot. Takes a couple bounces above that, beyond that fence behind the press box. One ball and two strikes. The pitch, swing and a miss. That'll do it for the Blues in the seventh. It's stretch time here in Alameda. We're knotted at 5. Don't go anywhere on the SLO Blues streaming network.
No runs, 1 hit.
Here in Alameda, Alec Nava's at the plate for the Merchants leading off, and he hits the first pitch deep to left field. Bounces off the wall towards center field. The left fielder Nahar picks it up, gets it back toward the infield. He'll get back to second base. The relay throw ricocheted off the glove of third baseman Brendan Comerford. That one was a weird one. It had some carry to it. I didn't think it was going to get out off the bat. Bounced off the wall where the yellow top is, where it denotes the top of that wall, bounced back toward the field of play, towards center field. Nava was able to get into second standing up. That'll bring up Fabian Gomez. First pitch to him, ball and showed bunt. Blues defensive alignment responds accordingly. 1-0. Squares again. Ball low and away. Not really giving him a pitch to bunt here is Becerra. And obviously what is a prime bunting situation with a runner on second and less than 2 outs. Shows bunt a third time, sets his bat a little higher, gets the bunt right in front of home plate, called foul by the home plate umpire. 2-1. Two balls and a strike. Rodriguez creeps down the first baseline from his position at first. The bunt's down in front of the pitcher's mound. Becerra fields, throws to first. safe at first. Gonzalez, the second baseman, was covering the bag, could not complete the play on the receiving end. Good rotation from the Blues and a great throw over by the pitcher. Good PFP. That's what they teach you in practice and you in high school in the lower levels and executed so many times in pitcher fielding practice. Just couldn't complete the play over there. And Dean Traynor will emerge from the first base dugout once again and head towards the pitcher's mound. So the runners will be at the corners with one down, or no outs, beg your pardon, here in the bottom of the seventh on the E4. More of an elongated conference here on the hill by Traynor. The home plate umpire has made his way out there to check on that progress. Traynor seems to have directed his attention away from his pitcher and towards his infielders. They're having a little bit of a conversation with the home plate umpire as well on his way back to the dugout. So first and third, none gone in the inning. There's a bunt attempt. Foul back to the screen. This is Benji O'Rourke. Evidently no longer, he's not doing the catching anymore. We're not exactly sure we were given the correct substitutions by the home plate umpire, but alas, he's still in the 8-hole. Shows bunt on this pitch, but does not offer at the ball low and away. It'll be 1-1 to O'Rourke. So we were told Nava was hitting in the 8-hole. He is, in fact, hitting in the 6-hole. He led off this inning and got things started with that double off the left field wall. O'Rourke shows bunt, does not offer once again. So it'll be 2 balls and a strike to the Chechen. All knotted at 5. No scoring for either team since the 5th. 3 runs apiece in that frame. That ball's inside to make it 3-1. There's a pickoff move over to first base. Gomez gets back in safely on what looks to be Becerra's C move. Just keeping him close with no outs, but also keeping an eye on that runner at third base as well. You got to think there's some type of first and third play that would be on. And at this point in the game, this pitch is foul tipped with maybe off the knob of the bat, but back to the screen. It'll be a foul, and it'll bring the count full. So O'Rourke stands in, full count to him. Runners at the corners. Nava's on third, Gomez at first. Pitch is high. It will be a walk. So the bases will run full. And up comes the center fielder for Alameda, Max Giglieri. Walked back in the 5th in his last at-bat. Giglieri swings and sends this one into right field. Settling under it will be Cristal to make the catch. Runners tag up, and the Merchants take the lead on the sac fly. Nava comes in from third base to score that go-ahead run. Gomez moves up to third. O'Rourke staying put at first base.
Now batting number 0, Nico Rodriguez.
The home team has gone ahead, and the lineup card will turn over for Nico Rodriguez, the second baseman who was inserted as a defensive substitution a couple innings ago. First offering to him is outside. One and 0 to the leadoff hitter. Another pickoff throw to first. O'Rourke's in safely. That bunt is down the first base line. The first baseman, Rodriguez, fields it and throws it over Gonzalez's head down the right field line. Runners are on the move. One run is in. The trail runner's coming behind. The throw to home plate, not in time. So 2 runs come in on the throwing error to make it 8-5 Alameda.
Now batting number 6, Zach Lewis.
Lewis will come up, the 2-hole hitter for the Merchants, with a runner on third base. And only 1 out in the inning. Infielders are in on the lip of the grass. The first pitch, a ball out. Rodriguez got to the ball quite hastily down the first base line, just sailed that throw to Gonzalez, who was covering the bag. So a couple defensive miscues have cost the Blues here late in the game. This one's on the ground, up the middle, into center field. That'll score another. Zach Lewis gets the base knock. 9-5 Merchants. Dean Traynor will make another visit to the pitching mound. Walking much slower than his last time. The Blues bullpen and bench players come out of the dugout too. That'll be all for Arturo Becerra. Alameda has broken the tie with 4 runs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It is now 9-5. We'll tell you who the new pitcher is when we come back on the SLO Blues streaming network. Alameda 9, San Luis 5. back to Pat Bale Field in Alameda, just a bit east of Oakland. We're in the bottom of the 7th frame. Alameda's leading 9-5. Zach Savino will be the new arm in the ball game for San Luis Obispo. Arturo Becerra just having been pulled. First pitch to Kai Laxa, fouled out of play down the right field line. There's a batting cage down there, somewhere in that vicinity. Still just the one out on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Max Giglieri earlier in this inning. And Zach Lewis with the RBI single standing on first. So Savino will inherit that runner. He throws that one low and outside in the dirt to even the count at 1 to the Merchants shortstop. Four-run deficit for the Blues to work with. The delivery is low. 2 balls and a strike. You got to wonder from the Blues pitching perspective, how many arms are they willing to put in this game today, knowing that there's 2 more road games this week, and that's not counting 2 games at Santa Barbara before what will be the last week and a half or so of regular season play here in the CCL. There's a pickoff move over to first base, low but dug out by Rodriguez. Meanwhile, 3-1 to the 3 hole for Alameda. Laxa, he's ready for the delivery, and here it is. Grounded on the ground to short, over to second, to 1 to the first base, and that's a double play. Savino comes into the game and gets the Blues out of any further trouble. But the damage done, 9-5 after 7 innings.
2 Blues errors, no left. The Merchants have the 9-5 lead.
The Blues actually outpacing the Merchants in hits 10-9, but the score still holds 9-5. Alameda. 8th inning will be coming your way on the SLO Blues streaming network. Welcome back to Alameda and Pat Bale Field. It's the top of the 8th. The Merchants are leading the Blues 9-5. Jaden Bitter is on to pitch for Alameda. And he will tackle 8, 9, and 1 for San Luis Obispo, starting with Kevin Spear from the University of Washington. He sails the first pitch high for ball 1. Bitter is a right-handed pitcher standing 6'2", from Los Gatos down in the South Bay. Next pitch just a bit high for ball 2. Bitter played his high school ball at Valley Christian, the Warriors. Obviously under head coach John Diotti, won a number of CCS and state titles there. A program that produced the Brigman brothers down at Santa Clara. 2-1 is inside to Spear. Bitter played most of his high school career as a two-way player, actually playing some second base, some shortstop as well. 3-1, Spear hits this hard and on the ground, and it falls into left field in front of the left fielder. He's aboard with a leadoff single. That'll set the table for Diego Gonzalez with a runner on first and none down here in the 8th, as the Blues try to make some noise and erase that 4-run deficit here in the late innings. The first pitch to Gonzalez is in there for strike 1. Bitter's jumped around a bit as well, started his college career at Gavilan College in the South Bay, then was at Ball State University and appeared in a single game for Gardner Webb this past spring. Ball's outside to Gonzalez to make it 1-1. Appeared in a single game on February 14th against Valparaiso, getting the L. Just one inning of work, 1 hit, 2 runs, and a walk in that appearance. He'll work on Gonzalez now, 2 balls and a strike. The righty misses inside to drive the count to 3 balls and a strike. Three and 1. Bitter makes a move over to first base. Spear dives back, stands up on the bag. He'll have some dirty laundry tonight once the team gets back to the hotel in Concord. Another pickoff move over just as Spear was dusting off his hands, but gets back in safely as well. Bitter and the Merchants trying to catch this Blues team sleeping, but Spear was ready for it. He'll take his lead off first base once more. 3-1 is the count to the man in the box, Diego Gonzalez. The pitch fouled back to the screen. The count will run full. Top 8. Runner on first base. Bitter looks at the runner on first. Comes set. His delivery, swing and a miss. Strikeout is out number 1 of the inning. First for the second batter that Bitter faces, he retires. And we'll turn the lineup card over for San Luis Obispo with Dom Nahar stepping back up to the plate. A couple flyouts and a single today. And he'll look to set the table for the power hitters coming up in the lineup, but also use his speed. That ball is above his head and in for ball 1. Bitter is the 5th pitcher used by the Merchants today. We talked earlier about their desire and their strategy of switching up pitchers, switching up speeds, keeping that offense off balance. In this inning, at least, it has worked as strike two swinging to Dom Nahar. Strike one. Beg your pardon, it will even the count at one. Checks his swing. He offered at that one, says the umpire. 1-2 will be the count. Another pickoff move over, the third such attempt to get Spears, also unsuccessful as he stands up on the bag. And it's interesting because usually in your late afternoon, early evening games, you'll have some shadows in play, but with the 1 o'clock start, that was never really much of a factor since the sun was already straight up. This one is fouled back behind the Blues dugout. We'll reset and do it again at 1-2. Especially in places like Sinsheimer where the stands and the press box can kind of loom over the field to where, obviously facing due south, you'll have some of those shadows later in the day, right before the lights come on. And then you have the issue of dealing with balls and the lights. This one's by the catcher. Nava goes all the way to the backstop. Spear takes second without much defensive effort. The deuces are wild to the leadoff hitter Nahar with a runner on second base. Looked to be a wild pitch. Two. Foul back behind the press box. This point in the game, down 4. Got your runner out there, an RBI out there ostensibly for Nahar. Got to attack those pitches, especially with the new arm in the game. Be aggressive, but also selective, knowing that you're down 4 runs, not trying to do too much. The 2-2 delivery in there, strike 3 called. Nahar doesn't like the call. We'll head back to the dugout with 2 outs. The backwards K, the second strikeout for Bitter. He'll bring Cesar Chavez up to the plate. Been on base a number of times today with a walk in the 3rd, a single in the 5th inning. Looking to get the Husky, Kevin Spear, into home plate, trying to cut down on this Alameda Merchants lead on a Wednesday afternoon. That first pitch to him is outside. Nava reaches across his body to his arm side to grab that one. One ball and no strikes to the center fielder for the Blues. Next offering is low and in, though he set himself well in a early 2-0 advantage. That one sails right over Chavez's head. He had to duck down to get out of the way of it. Was in definitely head territory. Ball went all the way back to the backstop. Spear advances on the wild pitch. So he's now taken 2 bases by way of the wild pitch. Meanwhile, the count will be 3 balls and no strikes to the 2-hole. (3-0), runner on third for the Blues. Great scoring opportunity. That one's poured in there for strike 1 to move the count to 3 balls and a strike. Bader checks the runner at third and delivers. That one's high. Chavez will take his base on the walk. So we'll have runners at the corners With 2 down in the 8th inning, Alameda pitching coach out of the dugout, headed toward the mound from the third base dugout. Talking to Jaden Bitter in the last at-bat or so, losing a little bit of command of that fastball. And the Blues in a position to flip this game on its head or at least make an impact. Down 4, get some of those runs back. Conference at the mound has concluded. You got to think coaching staff giving Merchants bullpen a little bit of time to get hot. A couple guys are up there throwing right now, but for now it's Bitter's inning to finish at the very least. Top 8, 2 down. Brendan Comerford steps to the plate. The first pitch to him, he takes. It's low and in the dirt. Spiked a fastball. Comerford's got a single, a double, and a couple flyouts. He had the first extra base hit of the game with the double off the wall in the first. He looks at strike 1. Next pitch is in there for strike 2 called. Comerford will protect the plate here. Look to shorten his swing. Find a gap as he does so well. The center fielder Giglieri playing him to the entire outfield, I should say, playing to his opposite field side. That one is spiked in the dirt, goes all the way to the backstop. Here comes Spear to cut the deficit to 3 runs. It's 9-6 Blues. Cesar Chavez does the same thing, ends up at second base. So he's alone on the base paths now for San Luis Obispo as the deuces are wild to Comerford. It's a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Bitter pauses, then fires. Strike 3 called on the outside. And with the 1 run, obviously, the deficit comes down to 3, but Bitter does eventually sit down the side. It's 9-6. Alameda has the lead going to the bottom of the 8th inning on the SLO Blues streaming network. Back here coming to you live from Alameda, the College of Alameda, Pat Bale Field. It's the bottom of the 8th inning, 9-6. Alameda Merchants have the advantage. It'll be 4-5-6. Gio Martini leads things off, the lefty. He looks at ball one low from Zach Savino. As the Blues here look to get back in the dugout and do something with what might be their final chance. This one's driven out to right field beyond the fence towards that traffic on Campus Way and Willie Stargell Avenue. It is a home run. Martini's solo shot to right field makes it 10-6 Alameda.
That's a home run for Gio Martini.
He got a hold of that one, and Crystal gave it a look, but took a couple steps back towards that wall, and that ball was honestly closer to Campus Way and the main thoroughfare here in Alameda than it was to the playing field. That'll bring up designated hitter Angelo Luna. First offering to him is in there for a called strike one. Oh, and 1 delivery, low in the dirt. It'll be 1-1. So SLO got the 1 run in their half of the 8th, and then there's a shot into left field that will drop in front of Nahar. He'll pick it up, throw it back to the infield. That's a single to put Luna aboard. 2 straight hits to start off the inning for Alameda. We'll have a runner on first with nobody out.
How about number 46, Alec Nava?
We'll bring up the catcher, Alec Nava, batting in the 6th position. First 2 batters have reached this first pitch. Fouled behind the screen. Oh and 1, Savino throws. This one's hit in the air towards right field. Crystal tracks it, catches it at the letters to retire Nava. First out of the inning. Stepping in the dish will be Fabian Gomez, making plate appearance number 5. Walked twice, singled back in the 2nd. Reached on an error his last time up, which was in the 7th. But, yeah, the Blues were able to score in their half of the 8th, as I was saying, but Alameda got that run right back on the homer. Here's a ground ball to second. Gonzalez Fields goes to short. Murillo, the turn. That's a successful double play to get the Blues back in the dugout. 4-6-3 it goes. Last chance for the Blues on offense. Top of the 9th is coming up. 10-6 Alameda on the SLO Blues streaming network. Welcome back to Alameda, California, where the Merchants lead the SLO Blues 10-6. New pitchers in the game for Alameda. It'll be Diego de Santiago, the right-handed pitcher hailing from Stockton, a little bit east of here. Played his college ball at Northwest Missouri State University. He will reckon with Johnny Rodriguez up first for San Luis Obispo, left-handed first baseman here in the top of the ninth as the Blues face their final three outs. Ball one to him is low. Bitter being lifted after just the one inning of relief. Did his job. There's a line drive shot into right field. Coming on and making a diving catch is the right fielder, Gio Martini. And that ball was absolutely smacked. Martini was right where he needed to be when he needed to be there. And the Blues are now down to their final two outs. It'll be the shortstop, Diego Murillo, who turned that double play to get the Blues out of trouble in their half of the eighth, or on their defensive half of the eighth, I should say, in the bottom of the frame. Looking to get on base and keep that line moving here in the ninth. The first pitch to him is swung on and missed in the dirt. Nava pulls it out of the dirt just in front of home plate, 0-1. This one spiked in the dirt in front of home plate, bounces probably in the left-handed batter's box to make it 1-1. Murillo is ready for it. This one's also spiked. The catcher, Nava, just totally went by him and hit the home plate umpire in the chest protector. Everyone looks to be okay back there. No visit to the mound necessary. 2 balls and a strike. Both teams have 11 hits. The Blues have 3 defensive errors. We talked about that in the open, how that could contribute to long innings, and we definitely saw that play out here earlier today. That ball's in the dirt to make it 3-1. The 3-1 delivery from De Santiago is inside. Murillo will trot down to first base, having drawn a walk. He does his job to move the line along with 1 out here in the ninth. Kyle Becker coming to the plate for the 5th time today with a pair of singles. He'll also keep the line moving, look to keep the line moving here down 4 in the ninth. Santiago sets and fires. A little bit low for ball 1 to Becker. Want to know the count. The pitch in there for strike 1. Murillo has speed on the bases, but we'll see how he takes his chances here in the ninth, down 4. Santiago is wearing number 30. He sets, checks Murillo, and goes toward home plate. This one's fouled out of play behind home plate. One and 2. The pitch swung on and missed. Becker goes down swinging for out number 2. And It is up to Parker Cristall in his Blues debut to keep this team from heading back on the bus. Got 2 more games up here in the Bay Area, followed by a 2-game series at Santa Barbara over the weekend, so a lot of miles being put on by this San Luis Obispo team. The first pitch to Cristall is a check swing, and he went to make it strike 1. I think we definitely, in some ways, saw the impact of the short turnaround, having last night's game obviously at night down in SLO, and then this one being a day game up here in the Bay Area. This one's fouled on a chopper into the Merchants dugout. So now the Blues down to their final strike, 0-2 to Cristall in his Blues debut, batting 7th today and playing right field. He's made a couple nice plays out there. The pitch, that's low. 1-2, and the game continues. One and two. The pitch. Here's a high fly ball. It's going to be in the infield. The shortstop, Laxa, backs up on it right behind the infield on the grass and makes the catch. And the Merchants able to close this game out against the Blues here today, winning the ball game by a final of 10-6. Talked about in the open, ultimately the defense, even the pitching at times, contributing to another blown lead here by the Blues. It will be their 4th consecutive loss. As I said, they'll have the Bay Area road trip continuing tomorrow at Walnut Creek. They'll be playing up in Danville at Monte Vista High School. That game starts at 4 o'clock. Followed by a game at the Menlo Park Legends on Friday at Balin's Park in Palo Alto with a 6 o'clock start. They'll be heading back down towards the Central Coast to play Santa Barbara Foresters at Santa Barbara High School over the weekend, and we'll head into the final 2 weeks of the regular season in the CCL from there. Well, a disappointing one here today for the Blues, but the nice thing about baseball, you regroup, get back to it tomorrow. We'll see how they bounce back from this one. Dean Traynor will have a word with his players. They're gathered down the right field line past the dugout right now. With the earlier start today, that's more time to get back to the hotel, which will be good for these players who are running on not a lot of sleep and running on quite a bit of caffeine. It'll be good for them to get in their hotel rooms, rest up, look at the scouting reports for the Crawdads tomorrow and what should be an interesting matchup, vying for supremacy in the CCL North, as we said earlier. The Crawdads in first place currently, and the Blues in second place. With last night's loss to the Foresters, the Blues fell down to second place because the standings are based on win percentage. Despite the Crawdads having played 8 less games, they will at season's end play 10 less games. Nevertheless, tomorrow's matchup should be a good one, and we'll be coming to you live from Danville around 4 o'clock Pacific time. Well, thank you for dealing with and bearing with our technical difficulties here at Pat Bale Field in Alameda. Did our best to get you a radio broadcast. We will do our best to get you a video broadcast tomorrow from Monte Vista High School, as well as from Balin's Park in Palo Alto on Friday. You've been watching the SLO Blues streaming network. I've been Jacob Lee alongside Director of Baseball Operations of the Blues, Vincent Regalado. We'll see you tomorrow for baseball against Walnut Creek. Final score from Pat Bale, Alameda Merchants 10, SLO Blues 6. Good evening.